Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om. Today we'll start Mandukya Upanishad. Hopefully we'll complete that. I think we have 2 more sessions left for this year. So hopefully we'll be able to finish Mandukya Upanishad. I did not take any other Upanishad because I don't think we'll be able to finish in 2 sessions. So Mandukya Upanishad, it belongs to Atharva Veda and it's one of the major or Mukhya Upanishads. The meaning of Mandukya, there are some debate among learned people. Some say Manduka literally means a Vaidika Acharya, Manduka, Vaidika Acharya or teacher or guru. And some say it is because it is based on teachings of Rishi Manduka. That's why it is called Mandukya Upanishad. Now Manduka Rishi, he gave suktas or verses in Rigveda, but Mandukya Upanishad is taken from Atharva Veda. So it is little different. Jai Shri Ram.
Request for you. I am sorry to disturb you.
Recording.
Namaste. I will bring somebody in your class.
Okay, but so Mandukya Upanishad, it belongs to Atharva Veda, and there is a small story about it which I could not verify, even though it is mentioned in this book, but I could not verify if that's right or wrong. According to that story, which is mentioned in Muktika, Muktika is something Prabhu Sri Ram gave it to Hanuman Dada. So there was a conversation between Hanuman and Ram. So Hanuman Dada asked for moksha and path of moksha. So Bhagavan Sri Rama teaches that, and that is Mandukya Upanishad. And according to Prabhu Sri Rama, for the liberation of the aspirant, the Mandukya is enough. Meaning, whoever wants to get moksha, attain nirvana, for such person, Mandukya Upanishad is sufficient. There is nothing else to know. And even after this, if knowledge is not God, then study 10 Upanishads. So 10 Mukhya or primary Upanishads. If certainly is not attained, even then, study 32 Upanishads. So there are different categories of Upanishads, and 32 out of those. And if the desire of moksha suddenly arises at the last moment before death, then read the 108 Upanishads. So that's how the Mandukya Upanishad is important. So now the last line, if desire for moksha arises when somebody is about to pass away, then study 108 Upanishads. Now does that person, he or she, has enough time to study all the 108 Upanishads? Probably yes, because if you look at 10 primary Upanishads, they are contained in this book. So this book can be finished in a day or so, if such a circumstance arises. So Mandukya Upanishads, very important according to this samvada between Bhagavan Sri Rama and Hanuman Dada, that if somebody wants to attain nirvana or mukti or moksha, just follow Mandukya Upanishad and you'll be done. But if something is still remained, then study 10 primary Upanishads, Mukhya Upanishads. If there is something still remained, then 32 Upanishads. And at the time of death, if somebody realizes, okay, now I want to attain moksha or mukti, then study 108 Upanishads. So we'll start with Mandukya Upanishad. First, Shanti Mantra. And again, we already know these mantras from previous Upanishads. Om Bhadram Karnebhihi शृणुयाम देवा भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टवांसनुभुर्व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः. So the meaning of this is, Om, may we hear the auspicious with our ears, O gods, may we see the auspicious with our eyes, O venerable ones, may we sing your praises with strong limbs and body, and enjoy what has been given to us by the gods. Next Shanti Mantra. Swasti na Indro Vriddashravaha, Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha, Swasti na Starksho Arishtanemihi, Swasti no Bruhaspatir Dadatu. Om, may we be blessed by far famed Indra. May we be blessed by Pushan, the nourisher and the gods of the universe who know the world. May we be blessed by Garuda, the destroyer of evil, or the wheel of time that is very fast. May we be blessed by the god of speech who expands our mind. And we went through some details of this Shanti Mantra in past session, the Prashna Upanishad, the last session we discussed about this. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. First verse from Mandukya Upanishad. Om ityetadaksharamidam sarvam tasyopavyakhyanam bhutam bhavad bhavishyaditi sarvam omkara eva yachanyat trikalatitam tadapyonkara eva. Om, this one letter, Akshara, is everything that exists here. This can be explained as such: what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen. All this is the sound Om. And what is beyond these three states of time, that too indeed is the sound Om. So Om is everything: past, present, future, and even beyond that. So Kalatita or Trikalatita, that is the word used here, which is Mahakal. If we look at that aspect of Shiva or Mahadeva, that is Trikalatita, which is beyond time, past, present, or future. So time is within our universe, within our realm, within our physical or gross world. That is Omkar. Omkar is everything. What is beyond, that is also Omkar, which is Kalatita or Mahakal, because that is the source. The source is beyond this physical world, and that is Omkara. Even modern physics that has proved that when we keep chanting Om for continuously for certain period, it creates frequencies across all the audible sound range, which is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So Omkar covers all the frequencies. So it is equivalent to kind of white noise. And if you search Google, you will find a lot of experiments done with modern instruments and their conclusions. So Omkar is everywhere, is everything, and even beyond what we can perceive. Second verse. Sarvam yetad brahma yamatma brahma so ayamatma chatushpat. Everything indeed is Brahma. Atma is Brahma. This Atma has 4 quarters. So everything is Brahma. That means Omkar is also Brahma. And Atma that resides in everyone, that is also Brahma, because it is representation of Brahma, or it is part of Brahma. It is not whole, but though a drop of ocean represents whole ocean, similarly Om represents Brahma, or Brahma is everywhere or beyond what we can perceive, and Atma that resides in everyone. that represents Brahma, and it has 4 quarters or 4 charana. Now we'll go in details, but basically it can be described as Jagruti, Swapna, Sushupti and Turiya. These are 4 different states, and those states are Omkar or Brahma or Atma. We can also say Sthula, Sukshma, Karana and Avyakta. These are the 4 different states of any object. Third verse, जागरितस्थानो बहिष्प्रज्ञः सप्तांग एकोनविंशति मुखः स्थूल भुग् वैश्वानरः प्रथमः पादः. The first quarter is Vaishvanara. It is the state of wakefulness with consciousness turned outward. It has 7 limbs and 19 mouths. It experiences gross objects. So first pada, that is physical, which we can touch, we can feel, we can see, we can experience. That is Sthula Jagat, or whatever we experience in our Jagruti. When we are wakeful, what we experience is the first pada, Prathama Charana. Now, it is called as Vaishvanara. Vaishvanara is universal fire, or the universal being that is everywhere. Every single atom in this world has some temperature. Though it being very cold, science proves that nothing can go beyond 0 degree Kelvin, which is negative 273 degrees Celsius. But again, the science proves that any particle in this universe has at least 2 to 3 degree Kelvin temperature, meaning there is some degree of heat, there is some degree of fire. Fire does not mean it has flame. Fire meaning which has ushma, which has some urja, that is called fire or agni, and that is universal, it's everywhere. There is no place in this world without that fire, and that's why it is called Vaishvanara, the universal one, the universal fire. And so this wakefulness state, Jagrati, when our consciousness, our Chaitanya is outward, it's not inward, it is outward, it flows outward, it senses everything outward. It is said here 7 limbs and 19 mouths. 7 limbs, it is not clearly mentioned here, but what I see it as, it could be 7 chakras within the body, because every chakra represents different realm of experience. Or it could be 7 lokas, different lokas, various lokas, or it could be 7 different components of light, because light is made up of 7 different components, 7 different colors, so 7 different frequencies. So it could be that, because if there is no light, we cannot perceive many things, we cannot see anyone if there is no light. So most probably 7 limbs meaning the 7 different portions, 7 different parts or 7 different colors of sunlight. And 19 mouth. Mouth is something we take, using that as a tool, we take something inward. So it opens outward, but ultimately it just gets everything inside. So what are these 19 mukhas? We can say 5 Gnanendriya, which are sensory organs: ear, nose, mouth, eyes. So these are, and skin also, because we can touch, so that is also sensory organ. So these are 5 Gnanendriyas. Then there are 5 Karmendriyas. So speech, hand, feet, uh, our excretory systems, our procreation, those organs. So these are all five karmendriyas or organs that are used for actions. And there are pancha prana, pranavayu, apanavayu, vyanavayu, udanavayu, samanavayu. We went through all these in Prashna Upanishad. So these are pancha prana. So total 15 and rest 4, mana, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara. So these are 19 mukhas. 5 gnanendriya, 5 karmendriya, 5 mahaprana or pancha prana and 4 parts of our mind. Mana, which is memory, buddhi, intellect, which uses memory and creates or dissects it and creates actions accordingly. Then chitta. Now it is again debatable, but for me chitta is bhava, the feeling that is generated within mind based on mana and buddhi is chitta. And ahamkara. Ahamkara is something which makes us feel I am. Ahamkara. Aham asti. I exist. So that feeling, being different from others, that is ahamkara. So these are total 19 mukhas using which we can perceive outward world, the Jagruti world, the Vaishvanara created world. But that is Omkara again. 4th verse. Swapnasthano antah prajnaha saptanga ekona vinshati mukah pravivikta bhuktajaso dvitiyah padah. The second quarter or pada or charana is Taijasa. It is the state of dreaming with consciousness turned inward. It has 7 limbs and 19 mouths. It experiences subtle objects. Now, all these 7 limbs and 19 mukhas or mouths still apply here. But this state, which is dreaming state, swapnavastha, swapna, when all these 19 mukhas turned inward. So when we are Jagrat, the mukhas collect, these 19 mukhas and 7 limbs collect everything. In swapna, in dreaming state, we process all this and create a world that is within our mind. When we dream, we do not realize that we are not awake. We do not feel that what we dream is something different from reality, what we see as our physical world. When we are watching dream, for us that is the reality, even though it does not exist when we wake up. But during that state, everything was real, everything we experienced was real, and for us that was the reality. That is the reality. It's because all these 7 limbs and 19 mukhas turned inward and they did something. And it is named as Taijasa. Taijasa, one with brilliance or light. It is made up of light. The gross world, it has fire everywhere. This dream world, it has light, projection. And I think I shared that experience, that how we dream, I experienced that, the whole process. So it is like projecting movie on a screen. And that can be only done with light. And that's why this world is Taijasa, made up of brilliant light or brilliance or light. And same 7 limbs, 19 mukhas apply here also. But the experience is subtle objects. Subtle meaning, now that thing is made up of particles or atoms beyond our physical atoms. We can say the quantum reality that modern physics has found through various theories and experiments, it closely resembles the dreaming state, the swapnavastha. So those particles, they exist in physical world, at the same time they exist in a world beyond our four dimensions, and that is swapnaloka or swapnavastha. Now, the gross or physical world within our body is annamaya kosha. We take food, water, air, and what is made up of that is annamaya kosha. We need digestive fire within our body, then only we can convert food or water or liquid into something useful for our body, and that is annamaya kosha. So dreaming state, the swapnavastha, it is experienced in manomaya kosha. So that is sukshma jagat, beyond our sthula jagat. In fifth verse, we'll see about the next one. Yatra supto na kinchana kamam kamayate na kinchana swapnam pashyate tat sushuptam सुषुप्तस्थान एकीभूतः प्रज्ञानघन एवानंदमयो यानंदभुक् चेतो मुखः प्राज्ञस्तृतीयः पादः. The third quarter or charana is prajna. It is the state of deep sleep where the sleeping one neither desires any object of desire nor dreams any dreams. In this state of deep sleep, one becomes undivided, a mass of pure consciousness, absorbed in bliss and experiencing only bliss through its door, which is also pure consciousness. Now, when we sleep, rarely we might be touching this deep state or sushupti avastha. It is possible through deep dhyana or meditation. I think dhyana is proper word, meditation is more of a focus. So dharana, when dharana becomes deep, we go into a state of deep sleep or sushupti, and we touch that bliss that is pure. In that state, there is no desire, there is no dream, just pure joy or ananda. And its door is pure consciousness, chaitanya. So in a sense, we are going from mana, buddhi, which is gross, to chitta and ahankara, that is subtle, and we go beyond one step. So that is chitta to chaitanya, and that is the third state, prajna, which is literally meaning intelligent one who knows everything, one who is aware of everything. That is prajna. And the basic practice one prescribes about this is follow Ashtanga Yoga. There is nothing else. So eventually we go through various states, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, that are for physical world and mental world, manomaya kosha. When we go beyond that, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, so they are subtle and go beyond manomaya kosha and touch pranamaya kosha, that is prajna, that state of sushupti. And again, this is also Om. Sixth verse, Esha Sarveshwaraha Esha Sarvajna Esho Antaryamyesha Yonihi Sarvasya Prabhavapya Yau Hi Bhutanam. This, which is pure consciousness, is Ishwar of all. It is omniscient, It is the inner controller. It is the source of all. It is the beginning and the end of all beings. So, this prajna or sushupti avastha is the beginning and end of everyone. It knows everything, it is aware of everything, it is everywhere, it controls everything, and it is the source of all. Even Bhagavad Gita talks about this. When it talks about how the beings come into existence, like all the bhutas and pranis, how they come into existence and how they go back, manifest to unmanifest, how that state is transition. So all that is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita also, which is based on the information here. And so when the dhyana becomes very deep, it touches samadhi. Now samadhi does not mean it is the end. Samadhi is the beginning. We start to know everything. We start to experience us being everywhere. We start to experience that everything comes from us and everything is dissolved or finds laya in us. So it is the first step to the ultimate reality, which is even beyond all of this. And that is fourth quarter, the fourth charana, verse 7. नान्तः प्रजनम न बहिष प्रजनम नो भयतः प्रजनम न प्रजनान घनम न प्रजनम न प्रजन्यम अदृष्टम व्यवहार्यमग्राह्यम लक्षणम अचिंतम व्यपदेश्य मेकात्म प्रत्यय संसारम प्रपंचोपशमम शांतम शिवमद्वैतम चतुर्थम मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः. In the fourth quarter or state, consciousness is turned neither inward nor outward nor in both directions. There is no mass of pure consciousness, there is no consciousness or non consciousness. The state is invisible, unactionable, ungraspable, intangible, having no characteristics, inconceivable, undefinable. Its essence is consciousness of only the One. In this state, the entire drama of creation stops to exist. It is peaceful, blissful, non dual. This is the state of Atma that is to be realized. So, this is the fourth and ultimate step. So, when sadhana becomes deep, our samadhi also becomes deep, and we touch which is beyond manifest and unmanifest. See, manifest is gross in nature or subtle in nature, physical and mental. What is unmanifest, which is the source of everything, or karana, which is the karana of everything, source of everything, that is sushupti. But what is beyond all three, that is pure consciousness or non-consciousness. We cannot say, we don't know, we cannot put into words. It is beyond words. It is beyond experience. What we experience, even we cannot say what we experience. And it is beyond anything that we can think of. It is unthinkable. And that is Purushatita or Purushottama or Kalatita. And that is the state of Atma, which becomes one with Brahma or Paramatma. That is the ultimate goal of a yogi or of anyone, even Bhakta. When Bhakta says that I want to be at the feet of Prabhu, so this is the state. If a Karma Yogi says I want to dissolve everything, this is also the state, because only in this state everything stops being in existence or beyond existence. Whatever we can perceive, it is beyond that. or even Kriya Yogi, which is a Siddha. For that Siddha Yogi, this is also the state. So, everyone, whichever path we follow, this is the ultimate goal. And I would say it is even beyond the goal. We don't know what goal we are going to get. It is only through experience when we go beyond the three states, we realize what is beyond that. And it is said that it is one way door. Whoever goes there cannot say anything. What happened? Cannot even describe what happened. Cannot even put into words what happened. Cannot even say what just happened. So that is beyond everything, and that is also Om. So now the explanation how it is Om, and that is 8th verse. So ayam atma dhyakshara munkaro adhimatram pada matra matrascha pada akara ukaro makara iti. This very self, meaning Brahma and Atma, in the realm of syllables or akshara, is the syllable Om, akshara Om. So this is what is beyond everything in this realm, in this state. Even it is beyond state. We can't say it is a state, because state is something we can perceive. This is even beyond any state, and that is Om. In the realm of prosody, is the prosody is chanda or matra. Matra is something, some rhythmic sound. So it can be said prosody. Its elements are these matras. Which matras? A, U and Ma. Akara, Ukara and Makara. But there is something beyond. Next verse I think we'll talk about it. Okay. 9th verse. Jagarita sthano vaishvanaro akarah prathama matra apte radi matvad va apnoti ha vai sarvan kamanadischa bhavatiya evam veda. Vaishvanara, or the waking state, which is Jagrati, is the first matra with the sound A, which derives from the and possesses the characteristics of apti and adimatva. He who knows this element achieves all desires and becomes first or prathama. So akara matra of omkara. When somebody understands what is a, can realize a, which is Vaishvanara or Jagrati Avastha. From that, it has characteristic of apti, which is achieving or getting something, and adimatva, which is primary or first. So whoever gains or realizes akara, we say omkara, a, u and ma. When we say what happens? By just saying if we can experience that, we can fulfill all of our desires. Whatever we wish will come true. We also know some stories about siddhas, right? They create something out of thin air. So this is the siddhi. When somebody realizes akara, he or she can create anything and becomes the prathama, first. And there are many examples in our Sanskriti, Bharatiya Sanskriti, Sanatan Dharma. But we must not stop there. If we are indulged into all this, we will not proceed further. This is attachment. And it is Brahma, creation. Brahma is Prajapati, first one, first being. And Bhagavad Gita also has many things to say about Brahma, Prajapati. Ashtama Adhyaya or Navama Adhyaya. Bhagwan Sri Krishna also talks about this. And from Prajapati or Brahma, everything is created. So we can become Brahma if we can realize Akara, if we can be skillful, if we can experience what A is, then we can become Brahma. 10th verse. स्वप्नस्थानस्तैजस उकारो द्वितीया मात्रोत् कर्षात् उभयत्वाद्वोत् कर्षति ह वै ज्ञानसन्ततिं समानश्च भवति नास्या ब्रह्म वित्कुलले भवति य एवं वेद. Taijasa, brilliant one. The dreaming state is the second matra with the sound U, which derives from and possesses the characteristics of Utkarsha, which is exaltation or evolving into something, and Ubhayatva. Ubhayatva is dual or balanced or equilibrium. Thus, one who knows this expands and exalts his knowledge and becomes balanced. In his family, nobody ignorant of Brahma is born. Very important. If we can realize, if we can gain control over Ukara, which represents Vishnu, Narayana, who holds this whole universe, which makes some with the quality of Utkarsha, expands, evolves, and Ubhayatva, balance. One can evolve at the same time become balanced. And many things said in Bhagavad Gita about this. Sthita prajnasya lakshana. So one becomes balanced. One gets Utkarsha. And one expands knowledge, goes beyond the physical world, goes beyond the notion of what is tangible. Very importantly, and if somebody becomes skillful in Ukara, in his lineage, in his whole Vansha, everyone that is born will be knowledgeable of Brahma, will be Brahmajnani. So this is the blessing of Rishi. If we control over Ukara, one thing will not be Nirvansha, meaning he or she will have Santati. His or her lineage will not be stopped ever. And everyone who is born in that lineage will be Brahmajnani, will know Brahma. So it is the lineage of the Rishis, I would say. We can also become like that if we master over Ukara. 11th verse. सुषुप्त स्थानः प्राज्ञो मकारस्तृतीया मात्रा मितेर पितेर्वा मिनोति ह वा इदं सर्वमपीतिश्च भवति य एवं वेद. Prajna, the deep state. Sushupti avastha is the third matra with the sound ma, which derives from and possesses the characteristics of miti. Miti is perimeter, miti is construction or measure, and minoti is annihilation, dissolution, laya. One who knows this becomes the final construction of everything and dissolves everything unto himself. That is Rudra, Shiva. If somebody can master over Makara, become one with Ma, experiences Ma, realizes Ma, the Makara, then Miti, what is physical, what is subtle, he or she can know that what is the boundary of this creation. Once we know the creation, we can dissolve everything, we can break everything, we can create a seed out of it and create a new world out of it. Many Upanishads talk about that how this universe come into existence. It comes from the seed of previous universe. So whoever can master over Makara can become Rudra, Shiva. And when Tandava happens, but before doing Tandava, Shiva needs to know what is the limit of this world, where it stops, what is the boundary, that is Miti and Minoti. Now dissolve, now annihilate, crush everything, dissolve everything, and create something new. So that is Shiva or Rudra. 12th verse. अमात्रश्चतुर्थो अव्यवहार्यः प्रपंचोपशमः शिवो अद्वैत एवं ओंकार आत्मैव संविशत्यात्मना आत्मानं य एवं वेद. The fourth one is not even matra. It is inexpressible, a quieting of this entire existence, blissful, non-dual, Advaita. In this way, the sound Om is indeed Atman. One who knows this indeed merges into Atma. When we say Oma, there is something beyond all these three sounds. When we say Om, what happens when Ma stops? There is some reverberation, some sound. Eventually it stops and it creates something. So if we try to see that, if we try to experience that in our dhyan, we can master over or we can be one with this fourth state, Turiya state, and which is beyond any existence, which is beyond any creation, which is beyond any destruction. And that is something we cannot put into words or in experience. And that is the ultimate goal, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Samadhi has many different versions, and this is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. In that state, a person becomes one with Atma, becomes one with Brahma, and what is beyond Brahma, Parabrahma or Paramatma, it becomes one with that. So, A, U, Ma, and then that Chandra Bindi. Chandra Bindi has Ma, sound Ma, but that dot is said to be this fourth matra, which is not even matra. It is not matra. And that is the rahasya of Omkara. So if we master over Om, what is to be known, what is to be created, what is to be destructed, we know all that. And what is beyond that, we cannot say no or don't know. It is beyond that. We get to get there. So Omkara is very important. And that's what Prabhu Sri Ram told Hanuman Dada, that follow Mandukya Upanishad. And what is to be done or desired will be known. Nothing remains. So just keep thinking about this Mandukya Upanishad. 12 verses, very small, and gets Brahma Gnan. And the conclusion of Mandukya Upanishad is Omkara. But there is a caveat from the Guru lineage that once you start going into this sadhana, you'll leave this world, meaning you will not like this world. So be ready for that if you want to walk that path. And this is Mandukya Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.